Good morning, everybody. I love the energy. I feel like it's a little bit of a spillover from yesterday for many of us who were there, and we're kind of still riding the wave. Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church in Providence, where we love beyond belief. I am the Reverend Liz Lerner-McClay, and on behalf of this congregation, welcome to this time for your soul, for your spirit, for your heart and mind. Welcome to some room for your own self and to time for connecting with each other in particularly special ways. I want to extend a very special welcome also to the Reverend Erica Barron, stand up, who is with us. Woo! Who is with us this weekend in service to this church from our Unitarian Universalist Association regional office, and we are so grateful for all your guidance and support that you've given us leading up to this weekend and this weekend itself. This is the day we have been given. May we make the very most of it, starting now, together.
Please join in the unison chalice lighting, which you will find in your order of service. This light burns also in our hearts, and it lights our path toward harmony, justice, and hope for all.
Good morning. In the words of John Anster, inspired by a passage from the poet Goethe, what you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Only engage, and then the mind grows heated. Begin it, and the work will be completed. Friends, you are definitely engaged. We had around 150 people participate in this weekend's conversation about your future, which is amazing. We had people participating in 4 different ways. The sort of main way, the family breakout group, the online breakout group, and the survey for those who really couldn't participate in real time yesterday. There was a whole team of you who made it possible. So we had facilitators for all 4 of those things. We had Joyce and Nancy who directed our food, and all the kitchen staff who helped prepare it and feed us. It was excellent food. Thank you for that. There were folks who set up and cleaned up all of our spaces. You all have an incredible staff of the congregation who did so much in preparation for yesterday, running registration, figuring out all the details, doing all the planning, also leading the choir yesterday. You have great staff, and they all participated. The folks who were particularly involved in the details of planning were Reverend Liz, Peter, who's on the PRUCOM, and Mandy, who helped plan the family breakout group. So that's an incredible amount of engagement. It's so exciting. Thank you all for being that engaged. You are engaged, and you have begun. So we gather this morning in celebration and in faith that what you dedicate your energies to will be completed.
So what a good moment to rise as we are able, embody your spirit, and turn around and greet each other, walk over and say hi to people, maybe somebody we met yesterday, maybe somebody we'd like to meet today, maybe a very good friend. Let's make sure everyone here is warmly welcomed. No one goes ungreeted. And everybody, can we remain standing and turn around and face the cameras to the right of the organ, because there are people joining us from home. Good morning, everybody at home. Thank you for being with us in this way. We're so glad to be united. And then, can we join in the reading for the church covenant, which is in the order of service. Everybody's welcome to say this, even if you are not a member, even if you're just a visitor, to practice what unites us here. We, the members of the First Unitarian Church of Providence, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the light we know by many names, and with gratitude for our deep
observant among you may have noticed that I am not Pam Steger. Pam is a bit under the weather today, and we send her our wishes for a rapid recovery. Today's reading is an excerpt by contemporary American activist and writer Adrienne Marie Brown. When we are engaged in acts of love, we humans are at our best and most resilient. The love in romance that makes us want to be better people. The love of children that makes us change our whole lives to meet their needs. The love of family that makes us drop everything to take care of them. The love of community that makes us work tirelessly with broken hearts. Perhaps humans' core function is love. Love leads us to observe in a much deeper way than any other emotion. If love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact. If the goal was to increase the love, rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through the eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea. But everywhere, there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential.
Keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Never turning back. Never
going to share the joys and the sorrows that unite us in beloved community, starting with one or two that I should have read last week. A candle of thanks to the Green Team, remember that great service, and their tremendous effort this year in support of the mission and values of this, our beloved community. A candle of gratitude for those graduating college this spring, and for the hope that these young people will speak up and take action against injustice everywhere. Last April 24th, last Monday, was the annual commemoration of the Armenian genocide of 1915 to 1922. Even as we celebrate the Earth and Earth Day, I am mindful of the many lives lost in that terrible time and of the continued struggles of Armenians in Nagorno, say it? Karabakh, who are being blocked by their Azeri neighbors. A candle for peace. Prayers for my friend Melvina going through chemo. A candle of well wishes for Reverend Liz's mom and dad, who after separate medical struggles are reunited in rehab together. Prayers for them. Prayers for my friend Nicole, who will have tumor surgery tomorrow. A candle of sorrow for the unexpected passing of Archie. He was only a pet parakeet, yet he was a constant source of joy, love, and connection for my adult daughter and her family. May he rest in peace in bird heaven. Regrettably, our last candle is again for mass shootings in this country. Last night there was a shooting in Texas in which 5 people were killed and 3 were injured. As we work to end these kinds of atrocities, we will toll our bell to honor those lives lost. As we move into the space of prayer and meditation, let me remind you that if you have lost someone this year, after the meditation words during the silence, please stand or raise your hand at home or in whatever way is comfortable. Honor and acknowledge that lost together in community. To begin, we're going to find our breath. Let ourselves feel ourselves where we are. Let us enter this magical moment of having been and being and becoming all at once, right now. Please take a deep breath with me. And again. And one more. I've adapted this morning's meditation from my friend and colleague, the Reverend Marjorie Killeram. Holy is this place of memory and hope, this place which has formed us, where we store the icons of success and shattered dreams, where we gather threads and pieces of what we would become. Holy is this place of becoming. Holy is this place of vision and dreaming, this place over the rainbow, where all children are wanted and all people are fed, where all colors are the source of celebration, and youth and the aged come to the table as one. Holy is this place of becoming. Holy is this place of joys and sorrows, this place of our humanity, where the rivers of our lives run white and fast, where we hold on, and grow. Holy is this place of becoming. Holy is this place of compassion and connection, this place where we risk ourselves, where life and world are intertwined, where we can see forever in this moment and give thanks. Holy is this place of becoming, and beloveds, holy are you in this place to continue becoming. Amen.
I am standing on a flat concrete rooftop, holding on to the painted wrought iron railing that encloses it. I look up and down the street at the other buildings of similar size and form, small apartment buildings, one apartment per floor, about 3 stories each. It is late at night, and most of the buildings are dark, except for one home a ways down that is fully lit. Music and the sound of many voices carry down the dark street to me as I stand in the cool night, the clear, black, starry sky above me. I can hear speaking and laughing, but I can't tell what they are saying. I don't understand the music. I am in Greece, a country where I don't know the language, where I have one fairly new friend, where I am about to start a job I have no training for. I must be crazy. I literally think that to myself. I must be crazy to be doing this. I don't see how this will work. I am lonelier than I have ever been. And I am more than afraid. I am terrified that I am about to fail. I turn and go back to my small apartment on the roof of this small building because I have to prepare for tomorrow. This is the beginning. When I look back on my life thus far, that was the moment I woke up. That was the moment I came into my adulthood, after college, after working at a job that I hated, even after the radical decision to move to Greece and try living in that country that I had always wanted to visit. I was 22 when I finally woke up and began not just living a good and responsible life that was expected and even that I wanted to, but a life that was mine alone, shaped by me, right for me, fully me. That was when I declared myself, owned myself, in a sense, began to become myself. Congregations have a long lifespan. Most take longer to mature than human beings, and happily, their vital mature years can last decades and even centuries. Sometimes, like people, churches cycle back into a new vitality after seemingly having quieted into some latter years. This church has been growing into its maturity for a long time, gathering itself in the beginning, over 300 years ago now, finding a place to live, moving, building the first building, rebuilding after the first fire, adding the parish house, evolving into Unitarianism, rebuilding after the 1966 fire, adding our religious education wing, all the while growing into a faith community that has continued to evolve into this Unitarian Universalist church. The skills this church necessarily gained over time still matter now. Learning to hold each other in respect and compassion, even across conflicts, surviving times of great challenge through care and commitment, growing our faith, our religious education, our music, our spirituality, and our social justice presence. All of this grows our capacity to make a difference in our own lives and in the life of the communities we inhabit. And it is a cycle. It is a cycle that repeats, a cycle we are renewing right now. We are, again, right now, declaring ourselves, owning ourselves, shaping a life and an identity that is ours alone, shaped by us, right for us, fully us. By no means do I think that with our work yesterday we are done becoming for the next little while. But I do think we have done a lot of becoming, not just yesterday, but also we have weathered the pandemic of the last few years. Not every church managed that. Many didn't. I love and am so proud of what we have done for each other and our neighbors, what we have gained and accomplished, and the courage and commitment that made all that doing and growing, deepening and maturing possible, because it takes courage. It takes courage to come into a worldwide pandemic and decide we're going to meet it head on and answer every challenge with strength and caring, not only for ourselves, but our city and our state. We did not merely survive. Survival is itself an accomplishment, and that is not all we did in the last few years. We stepped up and changed with strength and love. And now, in our big day conversations and processes, yesterday, we have stood together on a rooftop and looked around and declared our commitment to the untrod path before us. Let me lift up just a few of your decisions from yesterday. This church decided to become a church for the city in multiple ways and strengthen our presence and impact at city and state levels. This church decided to fully commit to being an anti-racist church, officially, and not just along the way. This church decided to expand opportunities for simple fun and joy and creating connection through multi-generational events. This church decided to expand our multicultural and multi-ethnic congregation. This church decided to explore the role of Sunday services and the meeting house in support of deepening individual and collective spirituality. This church decided to explore the role of joy in sustaining a robust spiritual life. This church decided to form stronger and better creative partnerships with other groups and movements whose commitments to social justice work match our own, amplifying our agency and collective voice as First You. This is the language you guys picked. This isn't me framing this. This church decided to identify, select, prioritize, and resolve major capital needs, such as improving our sound system, the kitchen, the organ, accessibility of this meeting house, redesigning the dais, improving parking, putting glass doors in RE spaces, with a capital campaign sufficient to meet our priorities. And this church decided to strengthen our church's development strategies, our planned giving program, annual giving, capital campaigns, revenue generation, and grants, and more. Those are just some of the commitments from yesterday. You have identified a path of joy, authenticity, and spirit, a path of anti-racism and multiculturalism, a path that calls us to further excellence and greater presence and collaboration and stronger justice and reckoning and wisdom, and a path for increasing our financial clarity, generosity, capacity, and strength, a path for a deeply creative, multi-generational church. All of these inspiring, courageous choices that we could have shied away from or simply failed to perceive. I want to tell you another story with thanks to my friend Vanessa Southern for her account that's titled No Spectator Sport. And I drew on that to remind me of some details, but I was there too. Some years ago, the nationally renowned Christian Church Disciples of Christ preacher, the Reverend Kay Northcutt, preached a sermon at a large conference of Unitarian Universalist ministers. And she told us Unitarian Universalists that we are the hope for the nation. And she was very explicit that she thinks this even though she is not at all a Unitarian Universalist. It's one thing for us to say it, right? It's a whole nother thing when a Disciples of Christ, a nationally famous Disciples of Christ preacher and minister comes and says, you, Unitarian Universalists, are the hope of the nation. And in her sermon she said, you are lifesavers. You are mosaic makers, called to put broken bit by bit, creating patterns of beauty and meaning out of pain and loss. You are bone carriers, like the Israelites, who lifted the bones of their ancestors and took them across the boundaries into the desert. Bones are heavy things, she says. But what you inherit from those who come before is rich, so make sure to take them with you. Lifesavers, mosaic makers, bone carriers, find your greatness. After she preached this prophetic call, including the yelling at the end, Reverend Northcutt met with the preaching class of Unitarian Universalist ministers that she was leading that week, and she asked whether she had made it clear that she thinks UUs are the hope of the future. And she checked in asking, did I say that I came because I think you have a chance to heal the world? Did I say that I thought you were the future of religion, not my people, but you? Did I say that? And she also, that morning in worship, told a story. She said that when she was young, every school day started the same way, with her and her sister trying to rush out the door to school without their mother noticing. But their mother would always notice, and she would run to the door after them and throw it open and yell loudly across the lawn at her fleeing daughters, "Girls!" she would yell as they ran away as fast as they could, which was never fast enough. "Girls! Find your greatness!" And having told her story, Reverend Northcutt ended her sermon the same way, calling out to us. She said, "Find your greatness, Unitarian Universalists, bone carriers, mosaic makers, life savers." And her words, her charge to us did not feel like too much when I heard her. It felt right. It felt right to me. And it is right now, I believe, for you, First Unitarian Church of Providence, bone carriers, mosaic makers, life savers. Bone carriers, we surely carry our ancestors with us. Their presence is all around us, demanding both gratitude and new reckoning as we encounter the sins and the blessings of their day. Mosaic makers, because we know there is brokenness within us as well as the world. And we honor it. No one, nothing is absolute and pure. Everything is flawed. And still, everything and everyone is shot through with beauty and promise. And we know we can take our flaws and parts and bits and combine them, find the ways we fit, and fill the gaps, sometimes with grit, and sometimes with gold. and keep creating something multifarious and marvelous, a community that is whole together and powerful and beautiful. And lifesavers, because we know we have come here and found hope, or found family, found affirmation, belonging, found healing, found love that pulled us back from despair, from isolation, from the world's harshness, from our own cynicism, from the outrage that drowns joy, from the overwhelm of so much that needs doing that we cannot do alone. Find your greatness is really not too much to ask. This is one prophetic charge a religious liberal can believe in and commit to. I believe in it. And I believe we are on that path together. Lifesavers, mosaic makers, bone carriers, in establishing a strategic plan of all things. We are taking our brokenness and wholeness, the lives we are saving, including our own, the bones we carry, both the burden and the best of our past, to choose the strongest, most relevant, most worthy, most joyful future for ourselves and our faith. We have just set important and exciting goals for ourselves, and next we will coalesce them into a plan, and next year we will embark on the first year of our strategic plan as a congregation, and we'll continue to discern our steps forward on this journey. Our journey to the world we believe in starts for so many of us with a church we can believe in. This community has built itself into a congregation with a storied past and a wide open future. It is time for another beginning, the next awakening, the next transformation in the long unfolding of the First Unitarian Church of Providence. We are standing on a rooftop. We hold on to the railing, the sturdy safeguard that is our care and compassion for each other. We stand under the dome of the dark, starry sky that is the world, with all its challenge and all that overwhelms and all that is beautiful. We look out and we see we are at a turning point. There is hardship here, truths to encounter and integrate, language to learn and understand, partnerships to build, strengths to develop, music to create, people to love, joy to nurture. A next stage of life to live, a new level of being for all of us here. Ours alone, shaped by us, right for us, fully us, lifesavers, mosaic makers, bone carriers. This is our new day. Amen. How perfect then. Our second hymn is Building a New Way, number 1017 in the teal hymnal. This is such a great hymn. Can we rise in body or spirit and give it everything we've got, people?
Way.
amen. So for this new way, can we give a little? It's the time for our offering, for our weekly chance to practice generosity in support of our church. Some of us use this as a chance to pay our pledge, which is fine. We could also slip a couple dollars in, maybe a $5, just for the weekly offering. It adds up to a lot, and it's a very important part of how we sustain our church from year to year. Whatever you can give, please do, and thank you so much, always, for all that you give, and all that you do, and all that you are.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of our night of struggle, can we see a ray of hope? One pale thin ray, reaching for the day we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. We may not reach the ending, but we can start. Slowly but truly mending, brick by brick and heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. When your trust is all but shattered, when your hope is all but killed, you can give up, bitter and battered, or you can finally start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of men. A city of men.
Well, that's the best invitation you're going to hear this morning. But the others I have to offer, I just want to offer again and really invite us to do a round of applause for Nancy Weiss-Fried, who figured out how to feed 150 people, 140 people actually were here in person for like $400. Talk about leveraging. And it was such a great meal. And she got everybody in and out on time. It was like a miracle. Talk about loaves and fishes. And then Joyce Buber, who organized our delicious breakfast, and also all the kitchen helpers who made and served and cleaned up, and all the setup cleanup folks. I would like to invite us into actually a standing ovation for everybody who knocked themselves out. Because that was awesome. And can I also mention that, of course, Nancy Weiss-Fried, she also had to put together an amazing lunch for 140 as inexpensively as possible, because this wasn't in the budget last year. And we had, it's UUs. There was like 15 different food particularities that she had to figure out how to honor also. So it was quite an achievement. I also then want to thank our gun safety legislative supporters who need to be named. They've shown up 3 weeks in a row. It's hard to show up once. Showing up over and over again, which is so important, is hard to do. So I want to thank our Legislative Ministries founder, Bob Cox, and the amazing Kate McGovern. Kate, where are you? I saw you come in. Kate McGovern, stand up and be thanked. Who is leading us so ably this year, and everyone who has shown up. We do not have all the names. We need to learn to keep those. But Nori Duncan, Judy and Charlie Ortman, Deb Hoff, Nancy and John Green, Hillary Sammons, Leslie and Bruce Long, Peter Larman, Ann Connor, Sarah Gleason, Bob and Barbara Westlake, Maureen Pryor, Steve and Kathy Kloblin, Melissa Carton, Temple Fawcett, Roxanne Stern, Marcia Fowler, and Edie Warren. Right? One day, let us not have to ring our bell because of their work and the commitment of everyone in this congregation. Kate also is super grateful to our first UPRUCOM liaison, Lisa Vudas, and our staff for all their presence and support, and she named Jen Nardone and Pedro Vasquez and Nancy Forstrom, and of course, Reverend Roger. The next invitation, the Women's Alliance, has a super special program tomorrow at 11 a.m. Everyone who can make it is invited. The speaker is Elizabeth Rush, who will talk about the impact of climate change on our fragile coastline. Elizabeth Rush is the author of Rising, Dispatches from the New American Shore, which was a Pulitzer Prize nominee. She will share her research on sea level rise using the example of Jacobs Point in Warren. Warren people, I see you. Join Alliance members in the auditorium across the way for this very exciting program. And lastly, Emma's Revolution. Right? The amazing Never Turning Back song that we had earlier this morning was written by Pat Humphreys, who's part of Emma's Revolution. Emma's Revolution is coming in concert. There is an insert in your order of service. Check it out. You can buy tickets after worship in the atrium across the way. They're really incredible. They're really a national treasure. And our benediction today will be offered by Reverend Erica, and then we have that gorgeous postlude.
Boldness has genius, power, and magic to it. So be bold, my friends, as you move toward your vision, toward your greatness. May your journey be fruitful and full of joy. Amen.
Please join in the unison chalice extinguishing in your order of service. We carry the flame of peace and love and hope until we meet again.